What's going on, guys? We are out here doing our morning cardio. We are one day closer to getting ripped, one day closer to being bald. Just the facts of life. So I'm getting a decent amount of sunlight the past couple days. It's prompted me to do this without a shirt on, which honestly makes it easier. Just because you get that little added benefit of feeling the breeze on your skin. It makes the effort more enjoyable, I guess. It's kind of like you're getting a little bit of reprieve from the hard work you're doing with that breeze. So that's nice. And so if you haven't noticed, I'm white. I know, it's a shock. And white people, they've evolved throughout time with their skin pigmentation because they have traditionally lived in areas where there's not much sunlight. And I don't know exactly why that has to make the skin this color, but I do know because of it, it is making my skin like a solar panel for vitamin D from the sun. So that's how you see how evolution has different outcomes for the same species of person. And the nice part is, like I said it a million times, just getting that sunlight, it's a great way to start your day. It really is. You're starting your day on the perfect note. And I'm going to keep beating that to death because I really want everyone to give it a shot. I just continue to have pretty good days getting back on track in this manner. I did my cardio all throughout the off season, but I would do it on an exercise bike after I lifted weights and had already done stairs. I was slotted to do this stuff in the morning fasted, but that became increasingly more difficult to fulfill as I continued to put on weight, and it made me more sluggish over time. And it did not help being stuffed full from waking up to going to bed every day. You know you're very deep into the bulk when after a full night's rest, you're still all the way full from how much food you've been eating. Now, it doesn't count. I always got to throw this stuff out there because there's always someone who's like, that doesn't make sense. That's stupid. Because you have to add caveats to everything because those people are stupid. So you can't just go binge eat. You can't go out there and binge eat and stuff yourself silly and be like, oh yeah, I've hit that point now. I'm full when I wake up. No, it's not the same thing. I'm talking about gradually increasing calorie flow over time, eating the same quote unquote clean foods to the point where you reach that state. You can't go out and eat a bunch of pizza on some one off night and then decide that, oh yeah, I'm far along with this. Not the case. And it's good. I mean, unless you have the world's fastest metabolism. You know, it's good to be able to get there with minimal cheat meals because the cheat meals, they're very satiating, they're very easy to get down, but in terms of nutritional value, it's not really comparable to eating very nutrient dense food where the volume of food you're consuming is very great compared to the calories you're getting out of it. And you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals out of these things. And a lot of people, they always wonder, they're like, well, why do bodybuilders eat so much chicken and rice? And really, you know, for the most part with ones I know, like occasionally they'll be eating chicken for a couple of those meals. Realistically, and myself included, it's usually just one of those meals out of the 6 I'm eating in the whole day that's chicken and rice. However, the same format is being followed for all the meals. So I'm just having different sources of meat throughout the day. Like I'll have like egg whites and a protein shake for breakfast. Then meal 2, I'm having chicken and rice. Meal 3 is shrimp and rice. Meal 4 is beef and rice. Meal 5 is after my workout. That would be a protein shake. And then meal 6 is just a whole bunch of shrimp. So, and veggies. So I'm doing it that way. And really the preference with the different kinds of meat is, well, for one, something like shrimp, it digests very quickly. It's got almost no fat on it, whereas chicken breast has a little and beef has a lot. And I strategically place these things at different points in my day so that the food digests at a different rate as the other meals, and it just kind of grows into putting me in a good spot to have a good workout. But make no mistake, it is a lot of food. So a lot of people follow that format. However, you don't necessarily have to only have chicken for one meal a day. But what I will say is that over time, doing it a long period of time, you're going to have trouble digesting that much protein, or I should say that much meat. That's why you see with a lot of these diets, like, there are protein shakes added as meals. They're easy to get down. It's not really taking up much space in your stomach, and they tend to digest very quickly. Whereas that meat, yeah, at first in your bulking journey, that will happen. However, over time, it's going to start slowing down more and more because your body's having a hard time keeping up with it. So that's why having varying sources of protein, but generally keeping the same consensus of eating fast digesting carbs like rice, that's why we eat rice, that'll lead to the greatest cascade of results down the road. The rice is pretty staple. However, you don't necessarily need to eat rice, but it's very easy because white rice, it digests extremely quickly. And the benefit of that is it gives you a greater turnover rate for you being able to shovel more food in your mouth. That's why bodybuilders eat this stuff. You're getting the benefit of having the macronutrient amounts you need, whereas like the rice is, pretty much all carb. The chicken or whatever meat source, primarily protein. There might be a little bit of fat in there, but these things are very dense in those macronutrients, and it's just the perfect setup to have an effective bodybuilding diet. Because I've met a lot of people like this. I used to compete out of a powerlifting gym where for some odd reason everyone was eating in if it fits your macros type manner, which is essentially like saying that like the kind of the vision or the like general belief of that crowd is that the only thing that really matters is that you hit certain macronutrient amounts. So I'm getting so many grams of protein, so many grams of carbs, so many grams of fat a day. And they don't really care how you get it. So obviously, with some sources, you're going to have to eat in a certain way to get those macros to begin with, right? Because like I can't just eat ice cream and be like, oh, I'm gonna get my protein this way. It's not if it fits your macros. But you could also eat a lot of processed junk to get there. That's what a lot of these people do. And if it fits your macros, the crowd, they never really get far. There might be one genetic anomaly out there that, has an amazing physique and is very big and strong, kind of eats that way. Like Sam Sulek probably. I don't necessarily think he does if it fits your macros, but he is a big proponent of it just being about calories, which is kind of the same thing. But he does also eat clean meals in there. They just seem to be more sparing. But you run into people like that, and the if it fits your macros crowd is going to use that as an example of how successful the diet is. However, my argument is that someone like Sam Sulek is successful in spite of their diet. They genetically have a predisposition to be good at this, and they're eating in a suboptimal manner I hate using the word optimal, by the way. It's become a meme, but it is a suboptimal manner of eating. He just has genes so good that it's utilizing all the processed junk in a manner that other people will get fat doing. So it's kind of confirmation bias with people, because like there's him, and I'm sure there's like one or two other people I just can't think off the top of my head out there, but you know, people that believe this if it fits your macros type of lifestyle, they're gonna point to those people, start vehemently disagreeing with you that the quality of food matters, and they're going to use that as an example of success. But most of these people nowhere near close to being successful eating that way. You got genetic anomalies they're pointing to as the rule instead of the exception, and they're just doing that to confirm their bias that this is the right way to eat. And it's kind of, you know, if it fits your macros, it's kind of a way of simplifying things, I guess, mentally for people. I mean, they're like, all this jargon does not matter as much as people give it credit. I believe the macros matter, because at the end of the day, a calorie is a calorie, and a gram of protein is a gram of protein. So I'm gonna eat this way, and I'm gonna get big. And to an extent, they're kind of right. Right? If I'm a normal average Joe in the gym, and I'm trying to get in shape, I could definitely eat that way and get in shape. But am I gonna have a competitive looking body compared to other competitive people out there? Most likely not. I would say you're going into a race with your feet tied together and a blindfold on. You don't know where you're running, and you're not gonna get very far. Whereas if you look at like standard bodybuilding diet, yeah, like, of course there's varying degrees of how good someone is at bodybuilding, but in general, you know, most people eating that way, they're getting better results at a faster rate and tend to go farther along than people with that if it fits your macros ideology. And if it fits your macros is not the only diet out there that's like this. It's not. There's plenty of other diets like keto, carnivore. There's other ones I can't think of off the top of my head, but you know, kind of the ethos of all these different dieting approaches is to take like the general consensus that people believe is true and then have an extreme approach to it. So carnivore, it's kind of like they still agree that calories matter, but they're primarily eating meat sources because they want to get as much protein as possible, cut down on the carbs to a great degree, so you're not getting a lot of sugar. And it's very easy to get in shape that way because, like I said, you know, meat, it's no easy task to digest it well. So these guys are going out there, they're eating this way, they're feeling pretty satiated, eating a ton of meat, while also it being known that it's very hard to eat in excess of calories when you're only eating meat. You're most likely going to stop eating around your maintenance point of calories at least. Keto is somewhat the same approach, and if it fits your macros, it's kind of just disregarding the argument that quality of food matters, and it's just going off macronutrient amounts. So everything's got a different approach to it, and the thing is, even though one method might be a little bit foolish in some regards, the fact of the matter is, if you follow the plan and you follow it well, you will get results. But you're probably not going to be a competitive bodybuilder eating carnivore or doing an if it fits your macros diet. You might be in shape compared to casual people out there. Oh, this guy's letting me go. You might be in shape compared to casual people out there, but you're not going to have a competitive physique with other bodybuilders. So it's something to keep in mind, especially if you're newer and you're a little bit confused on what to do. You're allowed to mess up at first. That's fine. You can mess up, maybe eat in a way that makes sense to you, but as you gain more knowledge over time, you realize you don't have to do that. But if you follow the plan, you will get in better shape. The extent to that, though, varies. So as long as you understand that, you're kind of able to manipulate the factors of your lifestyle a little bit, like tailor them a little bit more to whatever your set of goals are in your life. And everyone's got different ones. Some people want a six-pack. Some people don't care if they're a little chubby. They just want to be in a healthy range of weight. Some people want to be bodybuilders. Some people, like, they just want to look decent. So it varies from everyone. It really just comes down to self-esteem, what makes someone feel good about themselves, and then people just executing plans. There are people that eat very strictly with these different diet approaches, and they get results from it. But if you're looking at like the confines or the parameters of bodybuilding, and it makes the most sense to eat in a traditional bodybuilding manner, because you're having a lot of different fluctuations throughout the year. One time at one point in the year when you're cutting down, you're eating less and less food, but you're eating enough carbs to get through your workouts effectively, eating enough protein to keep on muscle, and enough fats to maintain healthy hormone production. Then go into a bulking setting where I need to eat in excess of mostly protein and carbs and up to fats a little bit, but trying to increasingly pound more and more protein and carbs over a long period of time. And a lot of systems of the body can't keep up with that. Like your pancreas, you're going to become a little bit insulin resistant. You're going to downregulate your digestion, and that stuff's going to happen. That's why you can't permanently bulk. I mean, maybe someone can, but 99% of people cannot. So these things come in phases, and navigating them the best tends to be with a bodybuilding diet. Like this past off season, I ate 6,000 or more calories a day, and that's not fluffing the number up. That's the number. How in the hell am I going to eat 6,000 calories worth of meat every day? Every day. You could maybe do it one day, 2 days. Maybe you have enough perseverance to eat like that for a week, but you're not going to be able to do that months and months and months trying to bulk up, and you're going to have depleted glycogen stores for a large part of it. It's making your life a lot harder, whereas the bodybuilding diet's very simple for the goals. So anyway, didn't mean to ramble this long about the diet approaches and all that, but it's an interesting discussion. I think it's a simple discussion, but a lot of people want to make it complicated due to one bias or another. But at the end of the day, if your goal is just to get in